Giga Texas is 31% complete, and the estimated completion date is slipping, but I'll get to that at the end. Welcome to My Tesla Weekend. Progress on the site was slower than usual this week, and I almost didn't make this progress update, but I think having the longer trend is important. There are 4 reasons the progress slowed, some more material than others. Number 1, Christmas break. When you only have 7 days in a week, taking a day or 2 off is substantial. Add to this the lighter than usual crew we typically see on a Sunday, and the folks who chose to take the entire 3 to 4 days off to spend time with family, and a solid 30 to 50% of the week is gone. This isn't indicative of any long-term trend, obviously, but it did impact this week's progress and absolutely deserves mention. A quick thank you to my 849 subscribers. Did you know 40% of the views on these progress updates are from subscribers? So if you don't want to miss one, climb aboard, get subscribed, and stay informed, because that is the only way YouTube knows that you're actually interested. Number 2, scope creep. A lot of the progress we see on the site couldn't accurately be captured in the tracker because they weren't part of the original equation. When we see land clearing east of the southeast corner, it's progress, but it doesn't show up in the figures because we don't know what the intended use of the land is or what completion in that area will look like. Joe Tetmeyer noticed some new updates on the county website indicating substantial changes to the project. A revised site plan was submitted just this month, and it's not even approved yet. This suggests more work will be done, and every change adds time by itself, to say nothing of the extra time needed for the expanded scope of the work to be done. I've gotten some flack for suggesting the completion date is so far out, but the more estimates we run over time, the more it gets dialed in. Tesla's stated production estimate is late 2021, and the revision to the project with the county largely affirms these estimates, so I'm just keeping it real. If you have thoughts on these dates, or ideas how to better capture progress, let me know in the comments and we'll have a conversation. Number 3, rework. There are a few examples of this. One example is the concrete column that was found to be significantly too short upon installation. The roof beam had to be removed and they had to wait for a custom piece to be fabricated and installed. Another example is at the zipper pit, which had a lot of very specific prep and construction only to reverse course later. This area was essentially done before plans changed and they backfilled compacted soil on top of it. Another one is the geopier work, where gravel is compacted into deep holes to act as an alternative to solid piers. This step should have been done months ago, but reports have surfaced suggesting that many of those installed are no longer relevant to the final construction plan, so additional ones have been needed with different placement. Rework adds time that wasn't on the original calendar. Number 4, invisible progress. A lot of the progress on the site is either invisible or difficult to capture in this equation. In many instances, I've been counting footings as complete once they appear complete, even though it sometimes turns out additional work is needed before a structure can be fitted to them. On the perimeter grade beam, the footings can be complete while substantial work remains. That doesn't mean the progress has actually slowed, but that the equation is imperfect. The equation isn't meant to be perfect, it's just meant to provide a calculated estimate. There also appears to be work in progress inside the old concrete bag plant where electrical equipment for the switchyard has been stored, but we can't see what it is and it's impossible to measure. There are a lot of elements to the construction that take place off-site, like the concrete columns and roof elements, and it's safe to say a number of the other elements as well. So let's get to the math, but first, spare me 4 seconds to say thank you to my Patreons. Supporters get bonus content and everyone gets a behind-the-scenes look either way. So here we are, 31% complete. It's 30.5%, but it's still up 0.7% from last week, so that's close enough to count it. Here's the change from last week to this week you can see in the toggle. Orange is foundation work, gray is framing, and dark gray indicates a covered roof. A lot more footings are done along the east side perimeter grade beam. There are a few more footings throughout the site, and there are a handful of framing and roof segments. With a handful of new cranes already on site, with more currently being assembled, we can expect to see progress accelerate on the above-ground portions of the factory. Some of the areas of completion appear to have regressed since last week, but that's not actually stopping, it's just phantom braking as I more accurately dial in the locations of the areas highlighted. So the estimated date of completion has slipped to December 27th of 2021. That's just a year from now, but I can understand why some would be disappointed while waiting for their Cybertruck. Next week, I'll add a chart showing the progress over time. 3 data points is just not enough to effectively show much, especially with the holiday downtime, but the picture will grow increasingly clearer as we do more of these. So stay tuned, stay juicy, and I can't wait to hear from you clever robots on the flippity flop.